Hello my friends and welcome to my Supernova Sydney 2025 vlog. Before we get to the convention, we were lucky enough to be invited to a pre-con event hosted by Original Geek.
Content creator, you're just a fan of Pokemon, or whether you're a fan of one of the content creators that are here, really appreciate everyone being here. Firstly, before I get into what's happening sort of tonight, I just want to give a huge thank you to Swap It. Swap It have really pulled out some really big things, especially over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, there's lots of really cool things happening tonight. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways. There's going to be more packs of Pokemon for people to be able to open. If you're a content creator, really appreciate any content being made, whether that's Reels, Instagram posts. If you want to stream, let me know. I can get you onto the Wi-Fi so you can do some streaming. And if you're here wanting to spend some money, there's some really unique ways to be able to get your hands on some cards that really benefit some children.
While we were there, we were able to open up some Pokemon cards and raise money for charity.
And then it's one energy at the bottom.
The thing is, the code shows you the computer.
Well, don't look at the code.
Yeah.
Does it? Well, none of us looked at it.
Don't look at it.
One at the front, because that's the energy. And now you go like that.
Oh, they changed it.
Yeah, that's how you go. That's what we did before. Is
You
it?
need
Oh,
5 cards.
Yeah, we have 5 cards. Mama.
that's
We
okay.
have 10.
I don't know. I'm trying to understand what's going on here. Nothing really screaming out. Ooh.
You see shiny card good.
Shiny card good.
Shiny card good?
Shiny card good? Okay.
Very good.
Shiny or shiny? We assess it's shiny very good. Yeah,
That's a very good one.
Alright, so that's mine. Yep, there you go. So,
How much is the box?
Oh, that's good art right there. I love that.
I've got a
there's an extra
shiny
card.
something. I don't know what it is.
Wow.
Oh. Wait, we all got this?
Yeah.
Can I see the card?
I've got a jab on.
Claude,
Could I see
he
it?
just wants to see it.
Oh, that's
me
awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Go on, my love.
Oh, that is beautiful. I don't know.
That's so cool.
That is a beautiful card.
That is beautiful.
Oh, fair enough. Can't read them.
That's alright.
Weldon. It's your boy.
I learned one alphabet once. I don't want to learn another one. Yeah, that's
I like that they've got owners.
Myanmar? I know.
I spent so much time learning English. I'm not gonna.
Team Rocket's
I'm not gonna waste my time with this.
Team Rocket?
Yeah.
Hey, nice kangaroo.
Queen.
It's cute. You don't have to get all of me. You just need the card. Alright. Nah. Don't worry about that stuff. Code. One at the front. Energy. Team Rocket Nidoran. Carby. Oh, Squirvet. Relo? I've never heard of this one. Manectric. Team Rocket's Factory. Lurantis. Combuskin. Ooh. Ethan's Adventure. And this is my second one of these. I got the exact same one.
Honestly, it was a pretty cool event and a great start to Supernova.
Good morning, friends. Today's the day. It's Supernova. If you haven't been following along on all my other socials, I have been working on a cosplay for like over a month and a panel and stuff, and that's happening today because it is Supernova Sydney weekend. Now I'm basically going to start getting ready. I'm going in a little bit late. We're not going to go in right on open. We have the panel at 1:30 and then we're just going to roam the floor. But I think I've decided that I am going to cosplay today in case we don't go in tomorrow. So I'm going to start getting ready for that. All right, contacts are in. I cried a little / a lot, but
I know I also have a cosplay making video coming out very soon, but I wanted to include me getting ready into costume in this video as well, just so you guys can have a little look-see. Altogether, I think it turned out okay, and I was pretty proud of the makeup on the day, including the makeup that I used for Deanne's tattoo on her leg, and I was just glad it was a cozy cosplay overall. Soon we were at the event, at Sydney Olympic Park and on our way to Supernova. We went with our friend Ebubs, who took some videos as we went. We were lucky enough to get media/creator this year, so we went to the media counter and got our wristbands before heading on in. Our first plan of attack was to go straight in, find where our panel would be because I hadn't seen a map at this point, and then use the time in between to have a little wander around the dome. Lucky for us, we actually walked in and the panel was not too far away. So once we found our stage, we started to have a little look at what was different about Supernova Sydney 2025. Alch was also my appointed cameraman, so there are quite a few shots of me just walking amongst the stalls and things, and I'm very grateful because it made for a lot of filler content. I of course had my eye on the swords, however we couldn't afford to buy one this year. I ended up getting one as a gift, but that's a later story, and I was excited to see what kind of things were new to the convention, such as the senpai stand, a few apparel stands that I don't really remember seeing before, and Nintendo, which was huge. Nintendo was there promoting the Nintendo Switch 2, which was recently released, and had playable areas for Mario Kart World, Metroid, the new Donkey Kong Bonanza game, and so much more to see and do. Nintendo aren't usually at events like Supernova, so it was super cool to see them have a stall here, and I was really glad it was so popular. Also, here's a little shot of Alch's outfit, which I also made. We then continued to walk around a little bit inside the dome, but as we were running out of time, we only stopped at a few stalls to have a look, thinking that we will just come back a little bit later. The dome was split into two huge sections, so we wanted to cover as much ground as possible just to sort of figure out where everything was. One of the coolest stores that I didn't actually expect to be on the Supernova floor was this matcha place, where you could buy an iced matcha throughout the convention. I did miss out on buying some, but I did try one of my friends. Supernova Sydney also has a second building. Now the first one is the dome, where a lot of the brands and things set up shop, and the second one is where the seminars, the theatre stage is for the bigger panels, and the artist alley. Because we had a little bit of time, we went into the first section of the second building and came across a Star Wars group. I completely forget the actual name of the group, but it was one of the Star Wars associations, one of the biggest ones in Australia. And as someone who has just watched Star Wars, well, the first 9 Skywalker movies for the very first time, I thought it would be cool to check out. They had a couple of remote control droids running around, people in Stormtrooper and C-3PO costumes, a couple of bounty hunters, and photo opportunities. Although I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, I thought it was super cool to give the opportunity for people to go in and celebrate. I believe it is one of the anniversaries of Revenge of the Sith this year, so that is probably why this was here. I don't know, I thought it was cool.
On our way back into the main building so we can get ready for the panel, because that starts in about 20 minutes. But we got to meet up with everyone and set up the tripod and stuff. Baby, in the background of the vlog.
Jesus?
Jesus?
Caroline.
I like that girl that didn't know who we were, but she was like, I like
a
your
hammer.
hammer.
As I said, it was soon time for us to head back into the main hall of the dome to go start preparing for the panel. We had 4 other people on the panel, our good friends Lava Bun, NJ Rassic, Vid McAwesome, and Beat Drop Bandit. We were meeting up with everyone beforehand, and then we had about 10 minutes to set up our tripod, our camera, and our slides, anything that we needed for the panel before it was time to start. I haven't included all the footage, but here's a sneak peek.
Okay, hi. Today we are doing a little panel. I'm also a gamer at heart, and you can find me on my PC gaming in my spare time and bringing my passion for fantasy worlds to life. I like to think that my content is a mix of chaos, creativity, and pure nerdy joy.
If I'm near a camera, I'm happy. That's kind of my jam.
Alright, next up is NJ.
Hey guys, my name is Jaden and Jurassic. I'm a Jurassic Park content creator nowadays.
If you'd like to see the full panel, I have uploaded it. Now that the main thing that we had planned was over and done with, it was time for us to keep exploring. I was surprised to see a lot of Fallout things. There were brands there like DaVinci Resolve. There was a cosplayer at the DaVinci stand who was Mrs. Incredible, and she complimented my outfit. I was pretty happy with that. There was a Disney store where you could buy official Disney products. They also had a Loungefly wall, which is usually near the Disney store where you can buy any kind of collaboration between Loungefly and another brand or set of characters. They also had a Funko Pop photo opportunity, so you can see me here getting some photos, and just basically a whole bunch of other stalls. I love to go to Supanova to see what's different every year. I was not expecting an Audible secret library, which was actually an escape room. The line for that was super long, but we did stumble across Steam Kittens, who are usually at events taking photos of cosplayers. I almost missed out on getting some photos since they closed the queue around midday, but they let me sneak in when they had a little bit of time. We also found a Magic the Gathering booth, which we kind of wanted to sit and play at. I knew the person who was running it as well, but it was pretty packed, so we just continued walking around. These were some really cool jackets. Although I'm not into a lot of motorsports and stuff, they were super cool to see. And of course, the swords. As I said, I didn't buy one, but I was lucky that my friend Ebubs bought me one. We also ran into our friend Emily, or Kawaii Cooler, who interviewed me for a Godzilla video, which was really cool. Now it was time for us to go to the Artist Alley, one of the most dangerous places of a convention. There were so many artists this year and so many rows of stands. A lot of them were quite unique, such as those Pokemon coasters. A lot of them had a lot of fandom drawings and things, such as those arcane artworks. These skateboards were amazing, and I really want to buy one, even though I am not a skater. They also had some really cool artworks there as well. A lot of places had acrylic keychains, pins, and a bunch of stickers. There was one that had Critical Role tarot cards, which I thought was super cool since Critical Role was a pretty big guest at Supanova this year. And just a whole lot more. We also saw this Heisenberg cosplayer, which was amazing. I loved his hammer. And yeah, I was just having a really good time going and exploring the Artist Alley. It's one of the many places of a convention where you can just find different things that you hadn't really thought about buying before. A lot of creative people all in one space, and a very dangerous position to put your bank account in. I think the main purchase that we bought from the Artist Alley was a car decal of Your Forger from Spy Family, since I have cosplayed her before. Also, I am so glad I added the straps to Alch's cosplay. It made walking around a lot easier for him, as he could just put his chastifol on his back. If you guys do see any artists that you like, I can try my best to look back on the videos and let you know exactly who they are and where to find them. Or if you guys went to Supanova and see any artists that you know, please let me know. Some of the cutest things to see were any sort of crochet plushies. I did see a lot of Labubus because they're quite popular right now. Redback rugs are always around at these conventions, and they always have some pretty new rug designs. At this point though, the Artist Alley was getting very crowded, so we started to finish up inside and head on outside to finish up for the day. As much as I love conventions, being in cosplay and walking around, doing lots of things, seeing lots of people, it can be pretty draining. I am super glad that we made the effort to go though. I am super thankful that we went as creators this year, and I just had an overall very fun time. Please let me know if you guys like my event coverage videos. I do enjoy creating them, but I always love some feedback on what I could do better. But I really had fun, and I hope you guys did too.
Hello friends, I am back from Supanova. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope I did Deanne and King justice, and I hope to see you all in the next video.